Power Rangers tends to be very black and white when it comes to morality, which, by the way, is why I cast a lot of doubts on the adaptability of how to... Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode review. Have you ever heard a hero or a hero character say that saving people and doing good can be addicting? There's a certain rush that comes along with doing good things, and even that can be taken too far. Let's see if Red Fury mode has any downsides by taking a look at the 15th episode of Beast Morphers, Seeing Red. Devon is out for a jog, running through a little mall plaza type area when he runs into, or rather nearly runs into, Ben and Betty. The two are picking up a cake for their dad's birthday. Suddenly, a masked man goes running past them, and a teller steps out of the nearby bank to say that the man just robbed them. Devon chases after the man, but suddenly stops and looks at his Fury bracelet. He gets an idea, ducking around the corner, morphing, and activating Red Fury mode. Devon chases down the robber's car and lifts it into the air. A cop comes by and asks what's going on, and when he figures out the situation, he very cautiously asks the Red Ranger to put the car down. Devon says that he's just trying to help, and this cop tells him that the Power Rangers handle the Robotrons and the Gigadrones, but the police handle the regular criminals.
Excuse me, what?
I'm sorry, but I really dislike this. On the one hand, it does explain why the Power Rangers don't try to handle regular crime in Coral Harbor, but on the other hand, that doesn't mean that they cannot or should not handle regular crime that happens in their immediate vicinity. The criminal was not injured and is now in custody. The proper response, Mr. Police Officer, is thank you. By the way, the criminal was driving on the wrong side of the car. I guess they used a real New Zealand road for this shot. Devon gets a call about Tronics nearby and drops the car, taking off. He gets to the fight and starts chipping in, very excited and energized, even calling himself the star of his own video game. Roxy is sitting nearby, a very cute original footage shot in sort of an outdoor cafe situation. But do you remember during the Halloween review when I joked that Scrozzle must have been eating breakfast and then just used the fork to make Spiketron? Well, Roxy looks over the table, decides that Strawberrytron probably wouldn't be all that effective, and instead uses the candle to create Candletron. For what it's worth, each of the tables did have a candle. That was a nice little detail that could have been easily missed. Roxy goes to give Candletron a Fury Cell upgrade, and Devon looks at his own Fury Cell and realizes that it's running out, turning black. Yes, it seems the Fury Cells are something like batteries that hold a limited charge. He seizes the opportunity, using his cheetah speed to run in and snatch the cell away. Just in time, too, as his powers out, and I want to give Hasbro credit here for creating an entire second version of the Red Fury mode armor in purple to demonstrate that it's at low power. He replaces the cell and powers back up. The other Rangers catch up, and Zoe says that they don't stand a chance against all 5 of them. Devon runs in immediately, saying that actually, they don't stand a chance against just him. He starts beating Roxy and Candletron around. Nate and Steel try to hit the monster with their slash attack, but Devon just runs in and keeps slashing away. Eventually, Roxy gets tired of this and the two retreat. The Rangers tell Devon off for all the showboating, but hey, he's just getting the job done. He suggests hanging out at the Riptide Gym, but Nate says he has some lab work to do. As Devon walks by, he says, oh, there's something in his hair, grabbing at it. But actually, as we see, he has secretly taken a hair sample. In the cyber dimension, Blaze ridicules Roxy for her failure, and Evox demands that she explain. She says that yes, the Red Ranger defeated them, but he's changing, growing more reckless. Scrozzle takes this opportunity to establish the plot point, after we've basically already seen it happening, that Fury Cells will turn even a noble warrior evil. Evox orders Roxy to make sure that Devon uses the last Fury Cell and turns completely evil.
You are by far the most evil thing I've encountered. Offer your soul to me, Dark One.
Oh, and by the way, Scrozzle tells her to also make sure to retrieve the Red Beast Power Cheetah Speed. Considering how the past 2 episodes just left this plotline out entirely, I find it funny that even here it seems to literally be tossed in at the last minute. Evox says if Roxy succeeds completely, all 3 beast powers will be hers. At the juice bar, Devon impatiently waits for the drinks he ordered, and Zoe takes the opportunity to ask the others if they've noticed that Devon has changed, and they agree. He brings the drinks over and then notices a karate class sparring with wooden swords. He leaps over the wall and offers 2 of them the chance at a 2-on-1 fight against him. They agree, and he starts kicking both their butts. I'm going to try to mention this as fast as I possibly can just to get it out of the way. The juice bar lady brings out Ben a cake, because apparently juice bars make cakes now, to replace the one with smashed before, because, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the cop that went chasing after the robber smashed the cake into Ben's face. Devon's fight bumps the table and slides the cake onto a chair, which Betty sits on. Devon wins the fight, but he was apparently using Fury energy despite not even being morphed, as the cell he has is now nearly empty. Zoe walks over and tells him that the commander has summoned them back to the base. At the base, Nate's analysis of Devon's hair sample shows changes to his DNA. They conclude that the Fury Cell is replacing humane responses with ones that are more primal in nature. Devon denies this, saying he feels great and he's been using Fury Mode to help people. Commander Shaw shows him footage of him stopping the bank robber as an example of him going too far, and again, is this supposed to be a bad thing? I kind of understand that they want to show that Devon's going too far, losing control of himself, but here's an idea if you want to go that route. Have the robber steal the car, and then Devon smashes it to stop the robber. He thinks he's done good and he's stopped the robber and saved the day, but he's caused considerable damage in the process. This way, the show is just painting it as if him stopping the bank robber was wrong in and of itself. They all tell Devon that he has to take off the Fury Cell. He's hurting his team and he can't win this fight against Evox alone. He says fine, he doesn't need a team. He can win this fight by himself, and he storms off. Steele asks if they should go after him, but Nate says it should be fine for now. The cell Devon has is almost out of juice, and there's not enough left in it to completely push him over the edge to evil. Zoe says that she just hopes it's the last one, except that she knows dang well that it's not, because she's seen how many Fury cells there are, even if the show can't exactly keep track of that math. Pretty girl McWhat's-her-face calls. Seriously, just keep slapping her face on screen, Beast Morphers. No complaints here. And says the Robotron is back. The 4 run out to handle some Tronics, Ravi getting to lead the morph this time. Roxy and Candletron wait nearby, stalling until the Red Ranger shows up. The Rangers handle the Tronics rather easily, and Roxy and Candletron literally step from the smoke. Roxy starts trying to lure Devon in, loudly proclaiming that she's using the very last Fury Cell to power up Candletron. The Rangers try to get closer to destroy the cell, but she very easily blasts them back. The ruse works as Devon shows up, using his cheetah speed to swirl around the 2. However, in this case, for some reason, he doesn't take the Fury Cell, it falls to the ground nearby. He tells the Rangers, like he said, he can handle this on his own, and goes to take the cell. But Ravi runs in and grabs it instead. Devon demands the cell, Ravi refuses, and Devon starts attacking Ravi to get his hands on it. Ravi uses his gorilla strength to hold Devon off, but starts overheating. Now, this should have made him lose control, his flaw, and thus made this more of a fair fight, but instead he's just demorphed. As Roxy quietly encourages him, Devon advances on Ravi, even pulling out his cheetah claw, and demands the Fury Cell. Ravi refuses to give up the cell, so Devon reels back with his cheetah claw. Ravi holds up his hands to shield himself, and Devon plucks the cell out of his hands. The cell that he has loses power, and this time Red Fury Mode deactivates entirely. But as Devon goes to install the new cell, he realizes the Fury cells aren't whispering in his ears anymore, and he realizes what he's been doing this whole time. Now knowing the Fury cells are evil, he instead crushes this last one in his hand and throws the shards back at Roxy. Even though we hear a tinkling sound as something hits the ground, it seems like the shards of the Fury cell embed themselves in Roxy's avatar form. So I'm betting that that's something that's going to come back later. Roxy flees, furious. Candletron is still around, so Devon says he'll get Ravi back to Grid Battle Force while the others take care of that. In the cyber dimension, Scrozzle sends a Gigadrone. At the base, Devon hands Ravi over to Commander Shaw and smash. He apologizes, but Commander Shaw says that her boy is tough and thanks Devon for bringing him back. The call comes in about the Gigadrone, and Devon and Cruz head out to take care of that. At the TV Asuma building, the Robotron is doing surprisingly well against the three Rangers. The Gigadrone teleports in and starts making for a Morphex tower, but Devon gets there in time. Gigatronics are deployed, but Devon takes those out easily in the Zord's cheetah form. Meanwhile, Candledrone turns the Morphex tower into a candle, though it really reminded me more of like a hibachi tower of flaming onions or something. Anyway, Nate and Steele use their slash finisher on Candletron, which doesn't hit him, it misses, but it does put out the flame on top of his head, which apparently makes him easier to defeat. The three Rangers use a Beast Blast to destroy the Robotron. Nate and Steele then head for their Zords, while Zoe needs a carrot. As Nate and Steele run off, we zoom in on the Robotron's remains and see that the data chip has indeed collected the red beast power. I was all set to call the episode out for making a huge mistake here, as I did not recall a time that Devon used his beast power on the Robotron while it had the data chip. But he did, when he knocked the Fury Cell out of Roxy's hands. It's just that the episode did nothing to call our attention back to this until just now, which I find kind of a weird choice. Yet another stupid, quick, boring Zord fight. Devon is easily handling the Gigadrone by himself, but then Nate and Steele show up and form the Striker Megazord. Showing that he's better now, he steps aside and lets them take care of this, and they just go straight to their finishing move.
Fire everything!
In the cyber dimension, Scrozzle is whining about the Rangers wrecking his stuff yet again when Roxy teleports in with the red data chip. He doesn't see it as much compensation for the loss of all of his Fury cells, but this does complete the Beast Powers puzzle. Roxy says those Beast Powers are going to be hers. But Blaze disagrees. You see, Devon isn't evil and the Rangers were not destroyed. So Roxy failed. Whoever gets that beast power is still up in the air. Scrozzle says that whoever does get it is going to be amazingly more powerful. At the gym, Devon gives Ben and Betty a new cake to make up for the last one. I'm really not sure which of the two cakes he's referring to because I don't think the loss of either of them was actually his fault. Even the one that got smashed after his fight with the karate students, that was really more of an accident, though it is still a nice gesture, I suppose. He then apologizes to the other Rangers for the way he acted, especially to Ravi, who says that they would never give up on him. Nate says they'll always be a team. General Burke shows up for his birthday surprise, gets blasted by some icing, and then starts what is admittedly a somewhat cute icing fight with his kids. Time to throw some shades. Episode 15, Seeing Red. Prose, a great story on the morality of power, a winding sort of narrative, and effort in original storytelling. Cons, Ben and Betty, ineffective Rangers, and lack of clarity in Devon's issue. Another strong episode with a complicated moral and interesting story. Seeing Red gets 4 shades out of 5. Power Rangers tends to be very black and white in terms of morality, which, by the way, is why I cast some serious doubts on the adaptability of Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger.
Oh, dropped a critic bomb there.
The good guys are good, the bad guys are bad. Sometimes the good guys can be forced to be bad. That is kind of the case here, but it's presented a bit more gray in terms of its morality, which actually ends up both being a good thing and a bad thing, as we'll see in the cons. Until the very end of the episode, Devon never really does anything that's truly wrong. He's a touch showboaty. At worst, he acts a lot like Blaze did, which I find very interesting. Right at the end of the episode, he attacks Ravi, which crosses the line, but then he almost immediately realizes what he's doing and regrets it, coming back to the side of good. It was just nice to see Power Rangers kind of toe the line a little bit. I also enjoyed how kind of indirect this story was in terms of its narrative. Making Devon evil was not the bad guy's plan from the beginning of the episode. It was just a happenstance for them and they took advantage of it. Devon goes from using the Fury Cells for power to crushing the last one and throwing it at Roxy, which itself presents another fork in the road this plot can take. Everything with the Fury Cells does wrap up a little quickly, seemingly just 2 episodes, but it was nice. And take a little pause to remember that Red Fury mode is an original American battleizer, meaning that this entire story was written around original footage. I pointed out how nice it was to get a second low-power version of the Red Fury mode suit, and for anybody who's saying that's digital recoloring, there's a shot where it's zoomed in on, and if that's color work, it's really well done because it really just looks like a second version of the armor. It's definitely an increase in effort over the Neo Saban era, where we were just getting the Sentai battleizer. Ben and Betty's slime gags are unnecessary and meaningless, adding nothing to the plot and making me roll my eyes. This kind of story, a member of a group of heroes getting powered up, but that power slowly changing them, is a bit tropey, and there's a part of that trope that I'm really not fond of, and it's a pothole that Beast Morphers did not manage to avoid, and that is the other heroes in the group looking completely ineffective in the face of this hero's new power. If the other Rangers thought that Devon was losing himself in Fury mode and turning evil, they should have done something about it. Fury mode, Shmuri mode, there's 4 other Rangers. They should at least be able to pin him down. This even crosses over to Grid Battle Force and Commander Shaw. As a Ranger, Devon is an officer in a paramilitary organization. If he will not willingly surrender the Fury Mode bracelet, take it from him. Deactivate his morpher, lock him up. Order him to give it up, just do something. In these types of stories, the other heroes always just lay down, and it's up to the hero being impacted to learn the lesson all by themselves. And I know this is the point I've kind of harped on the most in this episode, but until Devon attacked Ravi, he did nothing wrong. Yes, this plot makes these things a little more morally complex, but the episode does this in a way that doesn't really make sense. Devon stopped a bank robbery safely for everyone involved, even the criminal, and both the cops and Commander Shaw question him for doing so, when that is exactly what a hero should do. Instead, you get Mr. Guest Actor McWhat's-his-face over here telling Devon that the Rangers should stay in their lane. Ugh. All in all, just as people who watch the international spoilers said, Beast Morphers is definitely back on the uptick. There are just little issues here and there. During a season like Ninja Steel, those issues stand out like sore thumbs. During a season like Beast Morphers, they're a little bit harder to spot. Maybe the 16th episode, Guerrilla Art, will iron out some of these bumps? Let's take a peek. When Smash learns Ravi's secret, he takes a dangerous step to keep it quiet. Meanwhile, a new threat joins Evox's forces and snatches an upgrade out from under the Avatars. That is going to wrap up another Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode review. Heroes, thank you so much as always for watching. Down in the comments, let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it. Where do you stand on Devon and the bank robbery? Was he absolutely in the right? Is that what a hero should do, even a superhero, when given the opportunity? Or did he cross the line, put the robber into maybe a little bit too much danger, and take care of things that the cops are there to take care of? Let me know what you think down in those comments below. Don't be afraid to share your opinion, even if you disagree with me. That's what discussion is all about. Just let me know what you think down in the comments. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all of my videos and ring that bell Get those notifications set up so you'll be notified of whenever I post brand new videos such as these Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode reviews. And if you'd like to contribute any financial support to my channel, consider becoming one of my patrons. Head on over to patreon.com/orangerangervideos where you can see my various tiers of support. I have a couple of patrons looking for more. I greatly appreciate any support I find there. If you don't want to commit to the monthly thing, I understand that. You can head over to ko-fi.com/orangerangervideos and buy me a coffee. I need some real water. I'm getting kind of thirsty, but we'll settle with the imaginary coffee for now. Imaginarily delicious, imaginarily set it back down. Really tell you, those are set at $3 a piece. And again, I appreciate any support I find at those sites or just sharing the videos, letting people know about my channel, etc., etc. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. In the cyber dimension, the juice bar lady brings out Ben a cake for the... I knew I was going to do that. The candle drone when Roxy teleports in with the red data chip. General Burke shows up for his birthday surprise, gets blasted by some icing, and starts what it is...